Welcome back to the episode of All the Mods 10. Last time I said it might be a little bit between episodes. That's because I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but I also have a backlog of episodes, so I might just be a dirty little liar. Who knows? But this episode, I want to go from this being our entire mechanism setup to having a MekaSuit. So, yep, we're going to do it. I'm not going to like do a tutorial or like explain everything I'm doing. Just because this is All the Mods 10 to the sky. I did that in All the Mods 10 in my All the Mods 10 series. I don't usually do this, but if you want to like know how to do all of it, there's plenty of tutorials online, and or if you really want to know how to do it in All the Mods 10, you can go check my series on it. I have a whole playlist on it. You can find that episode. I might link it up top if I can remember. Odds are I won't, but yeah, so I'm gonna pretty much go through the whole thing. I'll check in periodically, and let's get this MekaSuit. So the MekaSuit is just the 4 pieces of armor here, and it's going to require all of this. We'll get the titanium helmet this episode also, but that's later down the line. It's going to be very, very easy compared to what we're about to do, so I'm not even going to worry about it. We have pretty much all of this. We're going to need HDPE sheets, pellet sheets, polonium, the ultimate induction cells, and antimatter. Antimatter is going to be the biggest pain in the ass out of all of this. So let's get right. We already have the ultimate control circuits. That's already done. The HDPE pellet sheets are actually pretty easy, so we'll get that next. All right, here's our HDPE pellet setup. I try to make this compact as possible. So to make, for example, like the biofuel, you need something. The easiest thing I could think of was putting some snad down with a redstone clock and growing some sugarcane with a lock breaker up here. Set 20 ticks, and then I also have a inventory checker here from RF Tools Utility to check once we have 1950 sugarcane in here, it should output a redstone signal. The redstone signal will get caught by the transmitter, output by the receiver to here, which will turn this off and stop growing the sugarcane. Just trying to save, you know, performance where we can. And then over here is where our water supply comes in, separates into oxygen and hydrogen. Would seem we're losing dumping excess, idle. I'll just dump the excess in here also, just so we can get our hydrogen back. The only thing, so now making oxygen and hydrogen in here, we're taking the water and also putting it in here to mix with our hydrogen. So our hydrogen goes into this ultimate chemical tank. And I try to use a mechanism where I can to move things around and not use Factory Manager. So in this case for chemicals, we're outputting, you know, the hydrogen over here. This thing's outputting into this without Super Factory Manager, and then oxygen's getting stored over here. Both those combined with our biofuel that we're making over here make a substrate and ethene. The ethene goes from here to here to make liquid ethene. The liquid ethene goes from here to here, combined with the substrate we're making over here to make our HDPE pellets, which are then getting stored right here. And then quick look at our Super Factory Manager setup. Looks like ethene makers assigned in the world but not defined in code. Interesting. So let's go ahead. I think it's, who's our ethene maker? I can't read it, to be honest with you, so we'll just leave it. But to look at our code real quick, so we're inputting power from our energy source, which is, I'm not sure if I can break this or not. I can. So our energy source is right here, being provided energy from our actual storage system. So we're doing that, and then inputting chemical ethene from the substrate reaction chamber, outputting the chemical to the concentrator to turn it into liquid ethene, and then taking the substrate from the substrate reaction chamber, outputting it to the HDPE reaction chamber, and then inputting chemicals from the oxygen supply and outputting it to the HDPE reaction chamber because this one needs chemical version of oxygen. So, and now we have HD pellets fully automated, and I don't have to touch it ever again. I also have it set up so like once this gets to 2000, I'll put a storage bus down, and then this will stop working and everything else will stop working as well. And during my initial setup, I had to change it. So this will be idle. Oxygen will be idle now that we have a lot of it, and we'll dump the excess of it when we have too much oxygen. but then our hydrogen will be idle. And this will also be idle once we have too much of this, because we need more hydrogen than oxygen. So I also noticed the only thing about well, it was maybe it caught up, but superfactory manager sometimes struggles to meet the power demands of mechanism machines. Like when they're in full effect, they're in full effect very quick. Yeah, the only thing we could do is upgrade the crusher, but we already have more than enough for forever. So actually, we don't need the pellets. We need the sheets. So I'm gonna fix that real quick. I did run into a little bit of an issue. The liquid ethene got backed up because we made too much of it. So now I just have a chemical supply here of ethene, because that's the only way I can dump the excess. So if we ever build up too much, it'll just keep going. But that's that. Now, since we have HDPE pellet sheets, we need to get antimatter. And antimatter is a whole rabbit hole that's going to take me hours and hours to do. But I'm probably just going to cut to the end where I have it all set up. Although we'll cut back in here, I haven't started the process yet, but we do need more. I'm trying to get B upgrades. The only thing that's holding us back right now are Hearts of the Sea. And to get Heart of the Sea, you can either do this, or I've been doing it this way just because we have so much source and everything. But to get Nautilus shells, the only real way to get it is through drown predictions. So I just grabbed a zombie and drowned him. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put him out here, swab him, slap him. And now, yeah, you got drowned DNA. Then we just make a feed of this. Oh, you know what? We're also going to need a swab of the chickens also, just so we can spawn those in. And now we have a drowned and chicken spawn egg. Please. Just to come back in real quick, I made 20 sulfur bees, all max stats with omega upgrades in them. Not fully omega upgraded out, because we just need to wait on some more Nautilus shells. But we will eventually build up a good supply of that over time. Also made a fluorite bee, because those are going to be needed as well. Those are pretty much the base needs for it. We're also going to need uranium. I don't think we have any source of uranium. Oh, apparently we do. Okay, never mind. Huzzah! You have never seen a more compact and efficient setup for making fissile fuel. And the best part about this is this entire setup is almost like infinitely expandable vertically. So for instance, if we want to do more like sulfur, make more sulfur dioxide, all I have to do is keep stacking sulfur dioxide things up as high as I want, and it'll just work with the whole system. I don't have to touch anything in the code. It's fantastic. So yeah, this whole system is now ready. We're going from nothing to fissile fuel, which is what we need. And yeah, I'll kind of show you. So like, this is pretty much the basic setup, you know, uranium cake, the sulfur, the oxygen and hydrogen, you know, things like that. But idle, I think we should be dumping the excess oxygen. Just in case. But yeah, the rest of this is fully automated, fully working. Some of these, everything has a buffer, and that's just to make it easier to pull from the system, and then, you know, we'll eventually build stuff up and all that. But yeah, so we have a thing. I'll show you the program real quick. It's pretty easy. It's got a decently high peak time, but every tick, you can only use every tick in Superfactory Manager if you're moving power around. Otherwise, you have to do every second or every 20 ticks at least at the minimum. From there, you know, inputting sulfur supply. I made it like super simple to follow, honestly. So, like, if you wanted to, you could like pause the video at any time and really understand, you know, what's going on. And anything that says supply is like the buffers. So, like, this is a buffer, this is a buffer, buffer. Things like that. Anything that's not a machine that is holding our ingredients, pretty much, is what that is. So going back through here, supply, maker, supply, maker, supply to the maker, supply to the maker. It's super, super easy. But that's pretty much that. So I think we need to get building our reactor. Oh, and by the way, our 20 uranium or 20 sulfur bees are absolutely not enough. We've already eaten through over half the sulfur we have access to. So just let that one sink in. But I'll probably just make another buffer right here, actually. Why not? Also, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to go through and mute all of the machines, because if I have these all unmuted, this place gets really loud. So a fission reactor has to be at least 3 by 4 by 3. So it's 3 by 3 and 4 tall. Or it can be up to an 18 by 18 by 18. I'm not doing a max size. I think we'll do like let's keep in line with the 7 by 7s actually. Let's just keep doing 7 by 7. And then to build a fission reactor, one thing we need a lot of is lead, and we had none, so I just made an ore, and now we're getting lead. Alright, so here's our fission reactor. We'll just have to eventually... We need some more ports for this, actually. We need a logic adapter. And that's actually it, just a logic adapter. So I set up a quick little safety net here. Basically, it's just... I have 3 logic adapters back here, so if there's high temperature, or if there's critical damage, or if there's critical waste level, I'll put a redstone signal, which then changes this redstone torch to off, and this is set to activate the reactor when powered, deactivate when unpowered. So if any of these trigger, it'll unpower the redstone, deactivate the reactor. Alright, I got into the basics of integrated dynamics just because it's... Oh, nope, I need that. The time in the bottle. It's just pretty easy to get into. Done it quite a few times, and we're just using the old sink to integrate dynamics, which gives you pretty much infinite water as fast as you'll ever need it. Now we get coolant, and now we have that. Go ahead and activate this, and it'll turn on, and now we'll get a burn rate of 0.1. Let's see, 0.331. 389, we're still going down, because I can tell you exactly why we're still going down. Even at the 7 by 7. You guys want to take a guess? What's not running over here? Oh, it's our sulfur. We're completely out. And keep in mind, like, we're only running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these oxidizers, and we still can't get it. We still can't get enough, which is insane, because at this point we're running 20 maxed out bees, all maxed out with all mega upgrades. Alright, these bees are not going to work. I thought they would work. They're pretty much your only option, that and sifting to get sulfur. There's literally no other way to get it other than those two. You could get it from like the... Where is it? This, but that's going to take forever. You're not going to get enough. Occultism, same thing. You're just not going to get enough sulfur. So, we need to get infinity cells next. Sand infinity cell. We're going to use that to crush it down into dust, and then dust into sulfur, hopefully. And to do that, I'll need to craft 2 gravel infinity cells, so I'll have infinite gravel after this. And that, because this takes an infinite gravel cell. And that's 531,000 blocks of crafting. And this is also another 531. It's over 1 million blocks to craft. Let's see how fast I can do it. Look at it go. 20 seconds? Not bad. Over 1 million blocks to craft. 122 enchanted netherite mesh. Oh my god, some have a fortune 4? Oh my god. Alright, let's really put this quicker to the test here. So over here I have a whole bunch of max upgraded hammers being fed by our infinite sand. And then all I have to do really is put this in. It should start running. And then we'll start getting all the dust. And really what I care about is all the sulfur. Everything else the dust gives, I don't care about. So let's look at dust and netherite meshes. They give redstone, don't care. Infinity, don't care, don't care, don't care. Maybe, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. Don't, maybe, kind of. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Yeah, I really just care about the sulfur. I can't always stand over there because these things can't pick them up that fast, but like I'll start picking up a lot of stuff if I stand over there. So I'll let it do it. I'll let it do its thing, and it would seem there's an area on the outside that they can't grab. So maybe I need to like block it off. And it looks like our sulfur supply is right back up. So this is actually a much better method again, but this is a 122 max enchanted netherite meshes with infinite sand, so do with that information what you will. It also takes around 30,000 FE a tick to run this, minus the clicker. That's just 30,000 to run these. All right, I have gotten it to where we're just about even on sulfur input and output, so it's been stalling out around 5,300. Sometimes it goes to like 52.7, sometimes it goes up to like 53.2. It's been staying right around here though. I was able to add, I think we started off with 5, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we added 3 more. But that's 3 more, 3 of these full speed from this, so do with that information what you will. So as it stands, in my humble opinion, there's no real good way to get a lot of sulfur. You could do this, but you have to keep stacking and stacking and stacking, and that'd be pretty laggy compared to the bees, but the bees just aren't as fast as this either. So as far as I can tell, these are the 2 fastest ways to get them, but they're not great. We also need to do something about our power situation because this is no longer cutting it. I added more. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nitro reactors powering this, and we're still losing power quite quickly. So try and supplement our power here. What I want to do is get together a what do you call it? A turbine. I think a turbine. We might as well use some of the steam we're using from this and feed it back into the system. We'll see how well it works. I'm not holding my breath. Alright, this may not be the most efficient turbine there ever was, but it did generate us some things. We ran through all our steam, but the system's not running yet. We did create 618 million FE from the little bit of steam we did have. So let's go get another plug, I guess, and plug it up to the AE system. I do that, and then AE power filler. Yep, that'll drain that. We need to raise this to a little bit more, actually. So there's our turbine. Alright, we'll see if this can stay. Oh my god, we have way too much steam. Wait, we're actually we're chilling out right now. Actually, is this perfect? Wait. We built up steam, but now that we're at full move-in, we're like dead even. Is that what that means? This is now making 2 million FE a tick, which is now got us in the green. That thing is spinning, dude. Now I just need to turn our nuclear waste into polonium. Wait, why don't you bring it back real quick? Nuclear waste needs to be turned into plutonium and polonium as well. Then we'll just send all of our spent nuclear waste all the way down there. Also notice we're going to be making more power, but the ultimate tier caps out at 1,024,000 milliwatts tick. I was looking at this. It caps out 1024. This is 1024 because it's ultimate. So we need some way to move more than this. I just added another one. We'll just do this. I don't know. Add a couple more. Now I'm making 6.7 million per tick, which is more than these, but we'll still keep them around. And we've also just about maxed out our turbine. So both of these are, I think this could run faster, honestly, but we're pretty close to max on this turbine. I've made the stuff we need for the SPS stuff, but I figure since we have the steam, we might as well be making this bigger because we have the resources to easily do it, so there's no reason not to, really. Alright, up the size a little bit, and its max production is now 26.5 million instead of the 7.3 or whatever it was. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick this thing back on. Look at that. And we're up to... That's a lot of power. That's a lot of power. It's gotta go in the system. Now with my current burn rate and everything, we've almost exactly doubled what we were making before, but I think I only had that burn rate because we were getting too much steam. So, oh, hang on. We're below the mass producer of random things. So in the end, we're producing more fuel than we can use just with this size of reactor. Because whenever I try to bump it up above 90, it freaks out. And with my, safety measures, it's like, no, you can't do this. It's too hot. So 90 is where we cap out at. But I think 90 is going to be more than enough, to be honest. And that caps us out right about 20.1 million FE per tick, which is pretty good. Especially since I wasn't planning on getting any power out of this, so I'll take an extra 20 mil. This 20 mil, though, is going to go into our storage system, though, so now we're for sure in a surplus. I had to add another drive here, because this one got filled up almost instantly after I turned that thing on. So now we have this, and it's 256 mil, so I'm not sure how much that'll hold. It should be a couple trillion, I would assume. And that should be good enough for anything. I'll probably keep adding to it just because. Why not? But that should hold us over for the rest of the pack. In terms of power storage, not in terms of like power production. Next thing I want to do though is get the mechanism reactor going. And we're not going to use a lick of power from that thing in terms of our system. All the power from that reactor is going to go directly into our antimatter production. Just a little check-in here. I made 2 of these thermal evaporation plants using integrated dynamics to transport the liquids through because it's just so much faster than anything else. A singular sink will easily supply both of these, and they move insanely quickly. I'm just using 2 because we don't need that much lithium. We need just enough lithium to make these ultimate induction cells, and that's pretty much it. And I think by the time we, see, this is what I'm talking about though, with the sound. Shut up. I think by the time I get the rest of this set up and the reactor set up, we'll have more than enough lithium. Now here's our solar neutron activators, all filled up with tritium. 5 doesn't really mean anything here. I just chose 5. I could do more, I could do less, but, I just went with 5. I don't know. And there we go with our heavy water being separated into deuterium or tritium. We now have DT fuel. And then all we have to do is come in here, place this here, and now we have DT fuel in here. I'll let this just I'll turn this off actually. We'll turn it off. We don't need that much DT fuel because we're going to inject it separately into the reactor because that's a better way to do it. I also take back what I said about the good sulfur, just because this is actually doing a lot better than I thought it would. I think it's a combination of them both, but I think it works well. Now we're firing some lasers into here to store some power. You need at least 1 billion FE to get this running, so let's run for a little bit. And then make sure you have it set to pulse mode, so whenever you hit the button, it'll do it. Otherwise, it'll keep trying to send power in here. And you have to do it all at once, otherwise it won't work. So now let's set up the antimatter stuff. Then if I did this right, this should be our antimatter. Yes, first try. There we go. The phase shifter is built. So now this thing's all filled with polonium. The next thing we need to do is get a tank or something for the antimatter. But just before I test it out, I'm going to go ahead and do this on camera because it's really cool. Is the sun setting? Let's get ourselves a new day. Well, it's not going to set just yet, so... how much power we have in here? We got 1.23 billion. We have our hull ROM in here. We should be all good to go. And then from here, we'll be able to change our injection rate. I'm not sure how it already has its power, but stats. I think once we get it up and running, we'll be able to change it. So let's go ahead and fire it off. So now our thing is up and running. I'm gonna let this build up some more power in case we need to restart it. And now our stats. Plasma. We're making power. We're making 240 million. That's a lot more than I thought it was. Oh no, we're producing 490. So never mind. It's about what I thought it was. So we have tritium going in. We have deuterium going in. We can increase the injection rate. I guess you have to suck the power out with a cable, and then we should be able to plug that in. And now this is running. Another machine that we need to make be quiet. That looks so cool, though. I love it. Yeah, with this setup, we're maxing out the injection rates. I have it set to 98, which is the highest. I tried 99, doesn't work. Can't do 100. So this is now producing... It'll get up there eventually. But 8 million a tick, which we can't pull out of here. Because that's producing too much power for this thing. It's so annoying. Alright, I guess the Flux network just wasn't working for a second, but now it is. I don't know if it took a second or what. But this thing is producing 15 million, so each of these can do 7.5. There we go. 7.5 there. And then 7.5 here. Just to make it even. Not that it needs to. And now we're producing antimatter like a champion. I'm not sure. Can this suck out antimatter? Antimatter goes in there. Cool. So it's a pressurized tube, which means we need a tank. I don't think we have any tank. Let's just go ahead and... I mean, we might as well let this run for the foreseeable future. That's a pressurized tube, right? Pressurized... tube. Oh, it's chemicals. Whoops. That's where I messed up. Ultimate chemical tank. There we go. Now we're storing antimatter. We'll probably never fill this up, but we might as well let this run forever because even with this thing maxed out, making 15.5 million, it's still not as much as this is making. So you can convert this to make steam and then power lots of these, which is, if you need power, what I'm going to do next time, because we still have an overflow of deuterium and tritium laying around. So I have extra. So I can produce, with this setup, I can produce multiple. Or at least, I could probably do at least 2 maxed out reactors. Probably one more. So if we really need power, I'll just redo it. It's good that I had a little backlog of polonium because we're running out of it. But we're making it as fast as we can with this. And we're producing more than this is doing. So if I really care, I can just make everything bigger. But I don't really care that much, to be honest. Antimatter takes about 1,000 millibuckets, so a whole bucket to produce 1 pellets. We have 3 buckets. So we got 3 pellets. And these need, I'm pretty sure each one needs a pellet. Yeah. So we gotta wait for that. So that's just a waiting game. And then while I wait for that, what I'll do is make our unobtainium stuff, which is super easy. It just like upgrades. Let's see, the smithing template. So we need this one, and this one. So how hard is it to make this one? Extremely easy. Okay. So to make this one, you're gonna need a block of aluminium to start off with. And then from there, you just do this. And then from here, it's pretty much smooth sailing. So I'm gonna make a whole bunch of these. Not that we need them, but what did we just run out of? Deep slate? Are you be so for real right now? And it looks like vibranium's the same thing. Except, well, we need a block of vibranium, which we don't have. But I'll go craft that. I'll go get the unobtainium, and I'll make the armor. Turns out to mass produce these, we're going to need some ancient stone. Ancient stone, you need ice and soul lava. Get soul lava. You have to get it through at least this laser at first. You could probably do soul lava comb. Let's see. Soul lava bee. Spawn egg. Ghostly bee. So we need at least a bucket of soul lava. But we might as well not even do it, honestly. Creature catcher with a warden. Alright, so I get that soul lava. I just went ahead and automated the basics pretty much of what is this industrial foregoing. So we just set up the ME systems, AE system, whatever you want to call it. And then our input is pulling from down, and then our output's pushing. Down here are just some pattern providers that are with induction cells. They get powered, and then they have their patterns for whatever I want them to craft, and that's pretty much that. Why do you have stuff in your return inventory? That's no good. Let's fluid input. You should not have stuff in your return inventory. I think it might be making an infinite loop, which is not good, but we'll see how much it actually matters. And then I also, the pink slime that we're getting from our slaughter factory is just killing things in our mob farm. It's already dropping down here. And then going into our storage container, I put another fluid storage for pink slime, which is hooked up to the system. So if we look up pink, you can see we're getting pink slime into the system. And now I can do things like craft advanced machine frames, which will give us the fluid laser base that we need. Oh, that was our soak touch pick. Oh well. Alright, something crazy happened. A, we have an armadillo where our villager used to be. And then B, all of my animals just randomly turned to like pigs and other random things. So I'm not really sure what that's about. Where's that mob duplicator? Mob imprisonment tool. That's what it is. Yeah, you're coming with me, buddy. I also made a compact machine, the Soren version. I think pretty sure it's the biggest one in reference to Soren, I guess. Compact machines. We want this because we're not about to have the warden possibly get loose in our base. Not that it really matters, to be honest. I also just don't want to listen to him, and it would just make me feel better. Holy wow, this is a massive. I did not expect it to be this big. You could fit a lot in here. I had no idea. So there are higher tiers to these things. There's like tier all the way up to tier 8s, and they are cool, but I'm not really that worried about it right now, and they're not necessarily hard for us to make at this point. They take weird things like biofuel, which is easy, sludge, which is easy. The crying obsidian is kind of weird, in my opinion. Like, why crying? I don't know. We don't have a source of skulk, so maybe we can't do that. And we're processing all of our ancient debris, so it's not hard. It's just I don't want to. All right, I have a little setup here. Let's see how well this works. I want them to spawn there. Please go where you're supposed to. Alright, this is super slow, but I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. While I wait on the soul lava though, we can get our first piece of antimatter, which will give us a quest, which will give us more antimatter. And now that our soul lava, we can make ancient stone. And you need a block of aluminium or oxidized copper. Weird. But yeah, well, let's go with aluminium. Word to the wise, it consumes the buckets of soul lava, so put it somewhere where it won't get consumed, like one block over. I just forgot about that, to be honest. I didn't know they would do that, but I probably should have checked it. Alright, moment of truth. We should be able to craft everything here. The Meka helmets. The suits. Pants. And feet. Cool. I was also thinking I might as well make the Meka tool, because let's just do it. And one Meka tool. Cool. Now we have a fully charged MekaSuit, but I want to do some upgrades and then we'll end the episode. And just like that, the speed run is complete. Was not very fast for me, took a long time, but hopefully for you guys it wasn't too bad. I put some upgrades in the armor, energy units in all of them, solar charging unit in the helmet, laser dissipation, energy, charge distribution, laser, energy, locomotive, stabilization, things like that. Things like fire can't hurt me anymore. Energy unit and all that. I understand it's gonna give you like more protection, but in terms of like utility and just like moving around the base, this stuff kind of sucks compared to my this stuff. Just not nearly as nice to have on around the base. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know it's not as informative as I usually do, but it's just kind of what I wanted to do because it's the same thing as all the mods 10, which I did already, and I didn't want to like, record the same exact process again so close together. So I just speedrun it. And that's pretty much it. See you.